Picture this: Novak Djokovic, the unbreakable king of tennis with 24 Grand Slams etched into history, unleashes a verbal missile straight at the sport's golden boys, Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz, calling them out as whiners who dodged the real fight for tennis's soul. In a bombshell interview that left jaws on the court floor, he accuses them of griping about grueling schedules from their thrones without lifting a finger to rewrite the rules, exposing a rift that could shatter the next generation's unity before it even peaks. Hit subscribe to Tennis Insider now and lock in notifications for the raw truths shaking the baseline. The storm brews in the sweltering heat of the 2025 Cincinnati Masters, where the newly expanded 12-day format stretches players like rubber bands on the verge of snapping. Sinner, the unflappable world one with his laser-like serves and ice-cool demeanor, has just clawed his way to the final, only to voice frustration over the endless days of matches that bleed into recovery nightmares. Alcaraz, the explosive Spaniard whose drop shots dance like fireflies, echoes the sentiment from Barcelona earlier that year, declaring 1 week Masters far superior because 2 weeks of non-stop grind isn't rest, it's relentless warfare on body and mind. Fans buzz with agreement, pointing to the One Vision plan that balloons 7 Masters events to 96 player draws, turning elite tournaments into marathons that favor the young and unbreakable. But Djokovic, at 38, the grizzled veteran who's danced with injury demons for decades, watches from afar, his schedule surgically selective, skipping most best-of-3 Masters to preserve his tank for the 5-set epics of SLAMS. He's won 3 of 4 short-format clashes with Alcaraz, including Olympic gold, and holds his own against Sinner, yet he senses the tide turning. In a post-US Open presser, fresh off a straight-set semi-final demolition by Alcaraz that leaves him gassed after 2 sets, Djokovic drops the gauntlet. They're just too good in best-of-5, he concedes, but then pivots with venom. Why complain about formats if you're not in the room negotiating change? The accusation lands like an unreturnable ace. Sinner and Alcaraz, atop the rankings, sit out player council meetings and ATP board huddles, leaving governance to has-beens like him. This isn't mere critique, it's a public flogging, igniting flashbacks to Djokovic's own battles against the establishment, from vaccine standoffs to pushing for player unions. Rivalries that once simmered on court now boil over into boardroom betrayals, with Zverev and others piling on criticisms of the bloated calendars. The surprise twist? Djokovic reveals he's formed a shadow alliance with Federer and Nadal, the big 3 remnants, to lobby for hybrid formats that bridge generations. Whispers spread: is this the spark for a player revolt, or just sour grapes from a fading legend? As Shanghai looms with its extended sprawl, the air thickens with unspoken challenges. Will Sinner and Alcaraz step up, or let the king dethrone their complaints? Tennis Insider, your front-row seat to the power plays rewriting the game. The backlash erupts like a tiebreak gone wild, social media ablaze with memes of Djokovic as the stern uncle scolding his prodigy nephews. Sinner, ever the diplomat, responds in a measured Milan press conference, admitting the schedule's toll but defending his focus on court evolution over off-court politics. I respect Novak's wisdom, he says, eyes steely, but building my game against Carlos leaves little bandwidth for bureaucracy. Alcaraz, more fiery, fires back from Madrid's clay courts, insisting his Barcelona rant was passion, not pettiness. I've bled for this sport, why shouldn't I speak? Yet Djokovic doubles down in a Serbian podcast, his voice gravelly with conviction. Top players shape destinies, or they become pawns in Gaudenzi's vision of endless expansion for TV dollars. The tension coils tighter as the Laver Cup approaches, Team Europe a powder keg with Djokovic captaining Sinner and Alcaraz under one banner. Practice sessions turn awkward, volleys exchanged with side-eye glares, while team dinners simmer with loaded silences. Fans devour the drama, viewership spiking 30% as pundits dissect the divide. Is Djokovic gatekeeping governance, or spotlighting a void where youth apathy risks burnout epidemics? The moment of shock hits during a leaked audio from a Geneva strategy session. Djokovic, voice rising, urges the duo to join the fray or risk inheriting a broken tour. Sinner's camp leaks a rebuttal, where the faces drawing crowds, let the elders handle the fine print. Alcaraz, channeling his inner matador, posts a cryptic Instagram reel of him smashing balls into a wall labeled status quo, captioning it time to serve change. This verbal volley adds layers to their on-court clashes, where Sinner's robotic precision has edged Alcaraz in recent slams, but now personal stakes loom. Djokovic's history as a reformer, championing maternity leave, mental health breaks, lends weight, contrasting the newcomer's laser focus on personal empires. As Paris Masters unfolds in its traditional one-week sprint, the contrast stings, shorter, sharper, yet the complaints echo louder. Insiders buzz about a potential players' summit in Monaco, brokered by the Big Three, forcing Sinner and Alcaraz to the table. The narrative weaves a tapestry of legacy versus innovation, where every unreturned criticism chips at the sport's fragile unity. Will this slam forge alliances or fracture the tour into old guard versus new wave? The courts hold their breath, aces hanging in the balance of boardroom battles yet to unfold. Deep in the heart of the ATP's power corridors, the feud morphs from whispers to thunder, pulling in unlikely allies and escalating the governance grudge match. Alexander Zverev, the towering German and vocal one-vision skeptic, sides with Djokovic, tweeting that without top voices at the table, we're all just extended pawns in a revenue chess game. His words rally mid-tier players weary of 96-man fields that dilute rivalries and amplify injury roulette. Sinner, stung by the elitism jab, attends his first player council Zoom, but sources say his input, prioritizing recovery days, clashes with Djokovic's push for fewer events overall. Alcaraz, the wildcard firebrand, surprises by nominating himself for a youth rep seat, declaring in a fiery El Mundo interview, "Novak taught me to fight, now I'll fight for our future, not just mine." The twist that grips the globe. A joint exhibition in Belgrade, billed as reconciliation rally, turns electric when Djokovic and Sinner pair against Alcaraz and a wild card, the serves laced with subtext. Mid-match, Djokovic nets a routine volley, then quips audibly, "See." Without negotiation, even aces fail. The crowd gasps, cameras capture Alcaraz's frozen smile cracking into a challenge-accepted nod. Post-event, the trio huddles privately, emerging with a pact, coach-era format task force blending best-of-3 efficiency with slam endurance. But cracks show, Sinner's doping shadow from earlier scandals fuels Djokovic's veiled digs about earning trust through action, while Alcaraz's injury history underscores the urgency. Media frenzy peaks at the ATP Finals in Turin, where round-robin draws pit mentor against Mentz, every point a metaphor for influence. Djokovic, drawing on his 2023 Union flirtations, leaks a manifesto calling for player veto power on expansions, signed by Federer and Nadal in spirit. The storytelling crescendos as Sinner clinches the year-end crown, only to dedicate it with a nod to Novak, "Your slams open doors, we'll kick them wide." Yet, in victory's glow, Alcaraz pulls Djokovic aside for a raw exchange, cameras catching tears, mentorship mending, or resentment raw. This chapter pulses with the rhythm of rallies unresolved, where governance grapples with glory, and top seeds learn that true champions court change as fiercely as titles. As 2026 dawns with trial formats in play, the tour teeters on transformation's edge, every baseline a battle line in the war for tennis's tomorrow. Tennis Insider wrapping this epic. Subscribe for more unfiltered court conquests and controversies. The aftershocks ripple into 2026's Australian Open prep, where the Reform Task Force unveils hybrid proposals, select masters trimmed to 10 days, with opt-out clauses for slam's sake, but only if all top 10 commit to council seats. Djokovic, vindicated yet vigilant, mentors from the sidelines, his podcast evolving into a platform for player voices, drawing Sinner as a guest for a tense but transformative chat. "I was wrong to sideline the fight," Sinner admits, his vulnerability a revelation that humanizes the machine. Alcaraz, thriving in the tweaks, wins Melbourne in straight sets, crediting the lighter load, but dedicates it to the critic who lit the fuse. The surprise pivot. Kyrgios, the chaos agent, launches a rival pod slamming the compromise as watered down, reigniting debates and boosting engagement across the sport. Rivalries reforged on firmer foundations see Sinner and Alcaraz dominate, but now with Djokovic's shadow as ally, not adversary, joint clinics on advocacy drawing crowds. Yet, undercurrents persist, whispers of ATP resistance, with Gaudenzi defending expansions as growth gospel, pitting progress against preservation. Fans, once divided, unite in fervor, attendance surging as narratives of unity triumph over discord. This saga, born of a slam that shocked, evolves into tennis's renaissance, where complaints catalyze conviction. Djokovic, eyeing a 25th slam swan song, reflects in retirement teases, "I didn't build empires alone, now they carry the torch brighter." The compelling arc closes not with division's death, but rebirth's roar, governance gripped by those who grip rackets, ensuring the sport's future serves all, not just the elite. As baselines beckon anew, the echo of that public rebuke lingers, a reminder that true rivalry rallies the revolution.